smaller company, we recognize how valuable our employees are, that we can do this all ourselves, and we try to give them everything they need to succeed. We have some great people that work here. We like to give them some great machines to work on and to work with. That's why we purchased Cat Machinery, and it works out well.
At the end of a shift, we're running it, starting at 5 o'clock in the morning, running it till 10:30 at night. We're averaging like anywhere between 100 and 195 gallon of fuel, and it's saving a lot on fuel.
One of the things we look at is uptime of the machinery. When it's available, it needs to be available all day, every day. We break rock all day, every day. We need the machines all day, every day. What we found is with the Cats, they give us that reliability. We look closely at utilization rates with VisionLink to know how often the machines are being utilized, what the uptime is and the run time of the machine. We get to minimize our idle time. From the maintenance perspective, if there is a fault code that occurs with the machine, we can know it before it gets to the shop, and we can be prepared and order parts ahead of time so we can keep that downtime to a minimum.
Because we are so busy, obviously in this economy to be competitive, we need to keep the labor force low. So you need better, faster equipment, more efficient equipment, and actually more comfortable equipment. Equipment design and how the cab is and how it works, and the new stick steer design is an unbelievable difference for a guy of fatigue at the end of the day. So hydraulics being fast and all those things working quicker, and then the big thing in the end is fuel consumption.
It has so much more hydraulic power. It's just, you put that bucket into that pile and give it some throttle, and you don't even have to go full throttle, and it'll just carry you right into the face. Like they explained, the new style bucket is built for that. So you can just curl yourself, and it'll curl it right into that face and fill that bucket for you. So that's huge.
One of the features with the 990 that we really enjoyed with safety is the presence of a training seat. We can put an operator in there and they can learn from a seasoned operator how to control the machine, how to work the machine. So what we end up with is a good group of well-trained operators at the end of the day. When we were considering the purchase of the 990K, they allowed us to go to the factory and really see all of the engineering and the back-end things that we don't always notice, kind of talk through some of the details of the production of the equipment that we weren't aware of, and you see the difference that's built into the machines at the factory.
Well, the big difference on new equipment is the uptime, not worrying about breakdowns. And the other thing we have to look at, because of the cost of new equipment, there's some equipment you buy that's disposable, and there's some equipment you buy that can be rebuilt. We had just bought a brand new 990K to replace an old 990, which I think the frame hours were around 40 to 50,000 hours on it. And we bought that rebuilt, and we're keeping that as a spare now. I know that other equipment, you can't do that. The frame will just not hold up. So that's part of why we've gotten into Cat more and more in the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah, when we looked at the purchase of this loader, we always say any machine can run well for 5 or 10,000 hours. When we're making a purchase of this size, we're looking at a frame life of 40, 50,000 hours at least. So we want a machine that's going to perform over its entire life. And we also need to know that the service and support is there from our local dealer, and we get that from Ransom. They're there when we need them. And we have a confidence level that they'll be there for the next 40 to 50,000 frame hours to continue to support this machine.
Number one goal is customer first. Supporting that customer, realizing what investment he's already made in his infrastructure product, having to do with product support, and having discussions to present options so that we can make the best decision and try to achieve the lowest cost per ton in a very competitive environment.
Building these trustworthy relationships with the customer so that the customer always has us as their first line of defense, I'll call it. We're the first phone call for anything, whether it is Caterpillar or not Caterpillar. They're calling us for every need as the servicing dealer. That's been a huge factor in the last 100 years for Ransom.
Our pride is when we get a new piece of equipment like our 990 machine here. It's just really neat to see that work and how the employees like that and the environment it puts them in when they're working there.